Hey YouTube, thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean and today we're going to be talking about saw blades and cutting things and keeping them clean. Doesn't sound exciting, but it is necessary. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about keeping blades clean. Why do we want to keep blades clean? Because they can often seem like blades, cutters, drill bits, router bits, all this sort of stuff can be dull. And instead of sending them off to be sharpened, it can be just a build-up of pitch and the nasty stuff in wood that just sticks to everything, do you know what I mean? Especially from things like softwoods. And that can coat the cutting edge of the blade and then make it seem dull, and so it's hard to push through. It leaves you with burnt surfaces and all that sort of good stuff. So previously I've talked about using Mr. Muscle Cleaner, and that's been perfectly fine. That does a grand job. However, I'm trying to be a little bit better with kind of environmental stuff, but also this is caustic. It's not good for you. So I wanted to find another way of doing it. Now in America, they have some stuff called mean green, I think, which loads of people get excited about. I don't think we have it in the UK. I don't know what equivalent there is of it. However, what I came up with a very minimal amount of research, to be fair, is citric acid. Now, citric acid is natural. It's not going to give you any caustic fumes or anything like that. It's not going to upset your day. And I figured doing this would be a solid solution if it works. Now then, you can buy blade cleaner, and I think the trend blade cleaner is about 18 quid for a spray bottle. However, I've bought this caustic soda, I've got this brush, and I've got this bowl, and this is like a 99p TikTok bottle. But all of this stuff came to less than a bottle of the trend stuff, and I will make sure that I leave links down below. But I figured that it can also be reused, so I can stick a coffee filter on the top of that when I'm pouring it back in, reuse it for as long as it takes, and it's going to be cheap, environmentally friendly. And because we're not hooked up to like the normal sewerage system, we have runoffs because we live out in the country. You know, should I ever get rid of it all, then it's going to be, you know, it's not going to damage the environment as much. So let me show you what this blade looks like at the moment, because this, I think, is my worst blade. It's not that long since I cleaned my blades, but we'll see what we can do. But yeah, let me show you this to start with. Righty, so I hope I can zoom in on these a little bit more in editing, but you can see they're not looking in great shape. Now there's a bit of rust on there as well, to be fair, after having the winter, but there's a lot of nonsense that's right actually on top of the blade as well. So we need to certainly clean this. The other blades that I've got aren't too horrific, but could probably do with a little bit of love as well. And we'll see how we get on with these. But yeah, this one's got some sort of pitch build up on the teeth, as you can see there. So yeah, we'll see if we can get rid of all of this and do it in a relatively safe way. I should also mention that I've got a couple of really old router bits. Now we've got some rust and all sorts going on these. I don't know whether the citric acid is going to be able to clean these up, but we'll certainly give it a go. Now, one thing that you will have to do as soon as you've finished with the cleaning is make sure that the blade is all dry to stop it rusting, and that's the same with these cutters as well. But let's get into it. So what I'll do is I'll pull the camera up close to what we've got going on in here rather than seeing my pretty face doing it. In this bottle here, I do have some warm water rather than just cold water, because I believe citric acid works best when it's 10 degrees Celsius or above. I don't know what that is in old money, I'm afraid. So yeah, so that's warm water. I've got 1.5 litres in there, and in here I've got this is 250 grams of citric acid. Now it says for a kettle, half fill the kettle with water, unplug, add approximately 1/3 of the packet and leave for 15 minutes. Rinse thoroughly, wipe down the outside. So my kettle holds about 2 litres, so I figured if I put all of this in that 1.5 litres, it should be okay, and like I say, it'll be reusable afterwards, and then we'll get to it. Right, let me see what we can do. So 1.5 litres of warm water. Probably doesn't need to be a full 1.5 litres, it could be less, I imagine, but I wanted to make sure I had plenty of blade coverage. And then we open this, and I will leave links to all of this down below as well, but we open that. All of that in there, all 250 milligrams or 250 grams. Don't know why I keep saying milligrams. Right, so that's that. This was about £3.50, I think, the equivalent of. And then we'll give it a bit of a stir and give that a couple of minutes to kind of evaporate, or not evaporate. What's the word? You know, mix in properly. Okay, we're pretty much there now. So take that off, and this is the really dirty blade. So let's just pop that bad boy in there, like so. And we'll leave that in there for about 10 minutes. The time now is 1:28. So at 1:40 we'll take it out and we'll give it a little bit of a schmutz with the thing, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, what I'll also do as well, just for shits and giggles, is I will pop my router bits in there as well, and we'll see how they turn out. Okay, so now it's 1:36, so I haven't left it the full 10 minutes, but I got a little bit excited. And also 10 minutes is a really long time when you're just sitting down and waiting for stuff to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a little bit of a, let me just see which bit's on camera. So around here, hopefully I can zoom in and we can see what the schmutz is like on this part of the blade. But let's give it a little bit of a clean with this brush. It's relatively stiff, but not the stiffest. And that has done an incredible cleaning job already. Let me, it's worked really, really well. Let me change the camera angle. Okay, I'm really hoping that we can zoom in enough to be able to see what's going on here. But these, clearly dirty. Look at that. Instantly clean. Instantly clean. No hard work. Like I say, these are for cleaning your tile grouting. So it's not overly excessive, but it's cleaned things up like a boss. Like really, really well. I guess if we go around the outside here as well, that's no bad thing. Yeah, that's doing a brilliant job. Let's just have a look and see what the router bits look like. Okay, so that's the router bit that's been in for a little while. Wow. Right, you can see a load of pitch and nastiness in there. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Look at this. Now obviously these bearings will need to be lubricated, I suggest, I would imagine, afterwards, and well dried. But I think that is coming up pretty flipping well. I am impressed. Oh, some windy outside. Right, let me clean the rest of this blade. What you can do, I've got an old welding triangle. It's a magnet. Stick that on there, and then that just helps lift things up without any damage to yourself. But oh my god, this is looking so good. While you're going around cleaning everything, you can just be double checking to make sure that none of the cutting edges are broken or overly worn or anything like that. And once the edges are done, you do have to make sure that the faces of each tooth are clean as well. Alrighty, so what I've done is I've now emptied all the solution into this, ready to be reused. I didn't use a coffee filter this time, so it is quite manky, but you know, we can clean it up next time, that's fine. What I did is I rinsed off the citric acid with just plain water, and then I dried them just outside just for a few minutes, and then I went over them with Keith Brown's original oil wax finish, Rag and Bone Brown's original oil wax finish, just to prevent them getting any rusty or anything like that. Now then, I did sort of customize this brush a little bit just by cutting some pieces off. It would have been nicer if it was shorter. as in the bristles were shortest, so they're not quite so long, but you can mess around with that. All in all, I think this citric acid has done a fantastic job. Now, do wear your protection. I know I didn't at the start of the video because I'm a naughty boy, but eye protection to make sure it doesn't splash back into your eyes, and gloves is always a good thing because, like I say, I don't know if it's super bad for you or not, but the warning is just causes serious eye irritation, but it does smart if it gets into a cut in your fingers. But no, all in all, I've now got 4 blades, which I'm really happy about and can't wait to get using, and we'll be seeing that very, very soon. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was useful. If you did find it useful, please give me a subscription, drop a like, and maybe drop a comment down below. That would be brilliant, and that would certainly help the channel moving forward. But that's it for today. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.